I'm Robert Grosso, Managing Director of OMUS 3D. We were Australia's first installation of the Massivit in July of last year, 2016. I'm a very passionate person when it comes to 3D printing, and as a very small business, we've embraced this technology and it's the backbone of our business moving forward. We're not an established business like most of your customers will be. We decided, looking at this technology, and after doing a lot of research, we decided that 3D printing was the way forward for point-of-sale displays and signage. Matt Huber and I first saw the Massivit online, and I got this email saying we need to go and have a look at this technology. And after a few conversations back and forth, we had a teleconference. My business partner said to me, we need to go to Israel and have a look at this technology before the Drupa experience. Thank God we did. It was one of the best decisions we ever made. Innovation is everything. So for us, we look at how our customers can be better presented in the marketplace. What is their point of difference? Well, OMUS is one of those companies that can offer all of those things. And the beauty about it is that we're on demand. And as I said at the start of the introduction, my OMUS stands for On Demand Manufactured Unique Solutions. And that is the key to what we believe 3D printing in large format is going to deliver. Most of you may know the Louis Vuitton display. I'm sure everyone has seen it online and had a look at the Massivit website and seen information. I have to tell you, before we even continue with this, this was probably the most difficult job I have ever done in my 23 years of working in this industry. Deadlines were very tight. New technology, and every step was an R&D process. We would hit a brick wall every day. Something has happened here, this is wrong, this is not right, how do we fix it? But just some stats for you. This was the first ever 3D printed full-size pop-up store in the world. Louis Vuitton had done a number of these applications in the past. They used conventional processes such as styrene with fiberglass coatings. They had done some work with 3mm medium density fiberboard skins, heavy in the labour process and heavy in the finishing. The stats are, we printed this job in 2 weeks, we installed it in 3 days. Now that doesn't sound like a very difficult thing, but when I tell you every single section of this structure was a difficult thing to achieve, and we would never have been able to achieve it without Massivit. Now, you're here to understand the Massivit culture. Let me tell you, as a supplier, I have never been supported ever in my history with all of the various suppliers we've had like we've been supported by Massivit. Over 8,000 hours spent on the project from manufacture to completion in 23 days. Now that is a statistic that is incredible by any stretch of the imagination. My business partner came to me and said, "You are crazy," and I won't swear because we're on video, but he said to me I was absolutely crazy to take this job on. But you need to understand why I took this job. I took this job because, number one, I'm a new business. Okay, I'm starting out as a 3D print provider. Number two, this machine is the largest printer in the world that can do this type of work. And that's the interesting thing. When we started this process, we started with some very simple shapes, and we thought we could get away with doing certain things in a certain way. Turns out that's totally not correct. The way we R&D this job with Massivit support, we were able to develop things like, and some terms that you'll hear eventually at some point, things like the mega layer. And a mega layer is now going to be part of the software, the slicer software that your customers will be able to use. The sanding and finishing of this was done without any two-pack paint primers. because it's chrome and the beauty of the demi-gel, everything was just sanded naturally flat. And because we were applying vinyl, we didn't need to coat it, we didn't need to finish it, we just needed a nice flat surface. This is a job for Hermes. Hermes came to us and said, we want to do something for Chinese New Year. Now, we could have done this a million different ways, and the Finnish methodology was to print the roosters in sections. And Sharon had touched on how to print things in sections and slicing it. Not everything needs to be done in one piece. Well, these little roosters, they're not very big. The smallest one is about 350 millimetres, about that size. The second one at the back is 800 millimetres, about that size. And the gold leaf rooster, which was done in 18 karat gold leaf, is about a metre tall. These roosters, because they were flock coated. Now, I'm not sure if you know what flock coating is. Effectively, it's an old process that was done, very popular in the 1970s, which is sprayed fabric. So these are actually textured. They're actually a fabric material, and it's sprayed to the rooster. And the benefit of that is, number one, there's no finishing required. We just printed them and sent them straight to the supplier. They put the colour flocking onto the product, and then the roosters were sent back to us. It was the easiest process that we've ever done. The gold rooster, on the other hand, was a totally different thing. This needed to be finished in a very high quality finish because the gold leaf will reflect and refract light very easily. So again, in saying this one, very similar to the Louis Vuitton, the finish needs to be very smooth because you can't see the layer lines. That came back, and the customer, when I sent them the photos, they were in awe. We did this job in a week. There's no moulds, there's no tooling. We actually mass produced these. There's only 16 or 17, but to be honest, there's no other way we could have done this in the time frame that the customer needed. So I get a call from a customer who's a good friend of mine, and she says, Rob, we need something to stimulate online promotion of our vodka brand. I said, sure, why don't you print a Donald Trump? So it's relevant, given today's time. So anyway, she said, oh, that's okay, I need it by the 17th. I said, but today's the 14th and we've got a weekend, how can you do this? And I said, look, I can't get it done, you have to give me a couple of extra days. So within 5 days of production, from print to installation, that took 5 days. Delivered to the customer for them to be able to do this job. Now, I don't know any other process or any other type of print that you can do in 5 days to achieve a result like that. It only took 4.5 hours to print. Yeah. We did it with 2 print heads, and it was so easy, we couldn't believe it. We started in the morning, by the afternoon we were finished. Michael was assembling and gluing everything together. I took it to the painting guys, they started preparing it. We actually turned it around in 3 days. Again, this is where the future of our industry is going, and you're right at the beginning of what I believe to be the future of visual solutions. And I really believe that this technology is going to be the differentiator, the next thing in our industry. It's no different to flatbed printing. As I said earlier, in 2003 we put our first flatbed printer in a Zund machine, which was the vision of my business partner Matt, who said we need to get into this. And by 2004, 6 months later, we had a Durst Row 160, which was on the floor. And then we got better machines, and the machines got faster, and you were able to do more things. But it all comes back to that first machine and being the innovator, and that's what we want to be. We want to be known as having that point of difference. There are so many signage companies and printing businesses out there, but at the moment, there's not many that can do what we do.